Hey, friends! It's St. Patrick's Day, so, as usual, I've dressed up for the occasion and tried to find a St. Patrick's Day themed movie to review for you. I had several candidates in mind, but in the end, I went for this indie crime comedy I'd not heard of before. We're talking about Shamrocks from 2022. How did that work out? Well, our story goes like this. Our hero, so-called, is Barry, a loser and a small-time crook and con man. He's on the outs with most of the crime operations in town. St. Patrick's Day weekend, he's in a jam. He has only 2 days to pay off a debt to this guy, a loan shark bookie type. If he can't pay, he'll be measured for a pine overcoat. Barry has a knack for just breaking into houses where the owners are away and just makes himself at home. He's also groomed a chick to be an inside man, so to speak, in this one house where he believes he'll make a big score burglarizing the place. He chloroforms the loser husband and his wife, and to give her an alibi, this inside chick. He manages to get hold of a bag of diamonds worth a big payday, but he's caught on camera, and now the loser husband and the private eye he hires knows who he is. And these diamonds don't actually belong to the loser husband. He was just keeping them for an old classmate, a dirty detective and his pervy partner. They have ties to the Ruski mob, and they're not above performing some homicide to get things done. Barry stashes the loot with his cousin, but look out. The cousin has some people over to party, and one of them, this loser dude, steals the stash. Meanwhile, the private eye gets this crazy lady, who Barry is having makeouts with, to recover the diamonds. She uses a knife to try and get her point across. So now he has the loan shark bookie guy after him, the private eye and the loser husband after him, the 2 bad detectives after him, the crazy lady after him, this loser dude who stole the diamonds from his cousin is after him, and these 2 goofy hired henchmen who wear these stocking masks are after him too. You can still make out that guy's prawn stash, am I right? It all culminates in a Mexican standoff and a lot of bullets start flying. No surprise, things don't work out too well for most of these characters. Can Barry pay off his debt? Will he wind up with the diamonds? And where can I get glasses like those? So as you can see, this movie has little or nothing to do with St. Patrick's Day, outside of a few references in the opening act. The story takes place over the St. Patrick's Day weekend, I guess. That's about it. And Barry is supposedly Irish, so there's that. But it could be any weekend in the calendar, St. Patrick's Day not being all that relevant. Still kind of disappointed there. There are no leprechauns and nary a bigora to be found. In our cast is, well, nobody you'd know, probably. Brett Baker has appeared in some stuff, not anything that jumps out. He appeared in a few television episodes. He was in LBJ, the movie about President Johnson from 2016, and The Frozen Ground, a Nick Cage movie. He was most recently in Unseen in 2023. James Heiser has also been in some stuff, but again, not anything all that big from what I can tell. Those 2 are your power hitters in the cast. The rest are all pretty much unknowns or first-timers, including Jenna Wilkinson, the lead of the picture. He's actually quite good as this crooked conman guy, and I like the guy who plays his cousin, too. And I also like the bad detective guy, played by Michael Willis. Other than Shamrocks, he was in a few episodes of Sense8, I guess. That's about it. But I found the cast uniformly good, or at least serviceable, in their roles. It's surprising they've not gone on and done more films or TV shows. The location photography is excellent. There don't appear to be any sets here, per se. You get a sense of the underside of the city, the grimy and poor parts of town that don't normally get a lot of screen time in most movies today. So it kind of reminded me of crime movies from the 70s in that sense. Everything looks believable. It is a bit confusing as to the time frame we're working with. It's broad daylight, then it's dark out. That happens a couple of times. There's some flashbacks and stuff, but you get used to that. And Barry has 2 days to get the money to pay off his debt, but it feels like more time than that passes, and Barry isn't exactly sweating out the time limit. Those are mostly minor quibbles, though. The comedy is dark in nature. It's low-key, but there are more than a few chuckles to keep things going. The movie takes its time, but it moves along fairly well, and I found myself rooting for Barry, in spite of his less than sterling qualities. But get this, reportedly, the budget for this picture was only $50,000. That's right, $50K. And this movie is stylish as all hell and gone. It easily looks like they spent a lot more money than that, and yet director Greg Lofrano has not made anything else to speak of, except for one short film in 2011. Why? Why? Hollywood, pick up the phone. Get hold of this guy. Imagine what he could do with a budget. Shamrocks is no good for St. Patrick's Day viewing, but it is good for viewing outside of that, and it's almost unknown. I just happened to trip across it on Amazon Prime, where you can only rent it, not buy it, and there are no DVDs. And there's practically no info about this picture on IMDb. They don't even list the full cast and crew there, and there are no other reviews for the movie. No ratings, nothing, anywhere that I could find. And yet, Shamrocks is indie filmmaking at its best, and it was a lot of fun. Okay, some of the cast is not Oscar-worthy, fair point. Some of the CGI, there is a little bit, is painfully obvious, but it's also used sparingly and thus is very minimal. The story, with its intersecting character arcs, is reminiscent of Tarantino back in his heyday, and somebody needs to get Greg Lofrano back in the director's chair. This one is well worth a watch, despite not having any leprechauns and not having anything to do with St. Patrick's Day, really. So, I'm giving Shamrocks 2 3/4 paws up. For St. Patrick's Day, go watch The Quiet Man. That's a 4-paw picture right there. You won't go wrong with that one. In the meantime, you take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.